Hi there and a very warm welcome to this week's video. I'm still very loaded with work, so this is a short one. But speaking of work, in my work I'm dealing with a lot of CAD objects, so computer-aided designs. And more often than not, the axis is somewhere but in the position we need it to get the animation right or the materials right. So what we're going to do today is take a look at my axis workflow or my axis routine, where I'm going to show you how to handle the CAD objects and place the axis at the right position. So without further ado, let's grab your coffee and let's jump right in. To access a CAD file that is not under NDA, I went to the GrabCad community under library and searched for something that I can use. And I stumbled upon the drive mechanism wheel here by Heuwekemeijer. While I could have chosen a lot of objects in the library to prove my point, this here has off-center axis, so something that is rotated from the world axis to make it more hard to center objects. By the way, if you ever search for an asset and don't mind using CAD data, then libraries like GrabCad are your friend. So thank you very much, Max, for giving us the object for this tutorial. Don't forget to like when you download something. In the downloaded archive, look out for a step file because this one can be dragged into C4D and opened directly. If you want to keep your current scene, then you can drag it in while holding down Shift. Then click OK. I always go with the high detailing to give me enough subdivisions to not look etchy. Now, to Max's credit, this file is one of the tidiest CAD files I could have wished for. He not only made sure that all the axes were aligning, so no job for me here, but also if we flap the hierarchy open, you can see it's actually made out of instances. Now, if every CAD file would be as tidy as this one, then this video wouldn't have a reason to exist. Though even big CAD files I get from manufacturers that I won't name here are not as tidy as this one. So usually as things have to be animated or materials have to be blazed nicely, I have to prep the file first. And there's another reason that might give you cause for prepping the scene. If I go to display and go to shading with lines, you can see the mesh here is actually horrendous. To be honest, this is the standard look that you get with imported CAD files. Though in my aforementioned video, I'm going over how to import meshes using MOI Moments of Inspiration, which, if you have mesh OCD like I do, can be a real relief because the mesh is looking much cleaner. But as always, with light there comes shadow, and the shadow here is that we don't get any hierarchy, we don't get any instances, and all the axes here are centered to the center of the scene. So whether you use this method or the other one really depends on the object and its later use case, whether you want to put in the time and get all the axes right, but have a nice mesh, or have a horrid mesh with all the axes in place and sometimes even instances. Keep in mind, for a lot of CAD files out there, this is not true. Even if you import them directly, you might end up with a flat hierarchy and axis in the center like this file here. Alrighty, in this scene file I removed all the parts that are not necessary, so basically all the parts that are duplicated. Let's finally get cooking and get those axes where they need to be. As you might imagine, there are multiple ways to place axes in the right location. I'm going to show you the way I use usually first and then go into other methods later. To make this process more understandable, I'm going to show it with a single object, so I'm choosing this nut. No these nuts jokes please. Then I'm going to solo this. We can later on select multiple objects and perform the same operation on all of them at once. With the object selected, let's go into polygon mode. Small quick tip, I relate some shortcuts to polygons, edges and points. Since I'm not using the 1, 2, 3 navigation, those keys are 3, so I set 1 to points, 2 to edges and 3 to polygons, which frees me from moving the mouse to this interface every time I want to change the selection method. Now let's finally click on polygons to select the polygons. By the way, we are searching for flat surfaces like this, or the front like this, or even this. Let's say we're good with that, and you can see the axis is not aligned yet. And remember that the original axis is at the center of the scene, so what we need to do is invoke a tool. Let's go to Tools, and there's a whole menu dedicated to axis operations. So let's invoke Axis Center. If we execute this function as is, you can see that the axis has been moved, though it has been moved to the middle of the object as the operation here is center to all points. Also, the axis hasn't been oriented yet, it's still the same orientation as our main axis in the scene. Let's get this done by hitting the alignment option here and then talk about the options within the align for a second. So what we can do is align a certain axis. I usually use Y because this is the best axis to use when it comes to later operations, for example, the array modifier. Then next, of course, what is used for the alignment for us, it's the normals of the polygon, so normals is okay. Now we can hit execute and you can see the axis is aligned without even being in polygon mode. So if we go to polygon mode, you can see that those polygons are still selected and taken into account. If we go back to object mode real quick, you can see that the axis didn't move, it's just realigned. If you wanted to move to the same position than our selected polygons, you can tell it just that by go selected polygons and then reiterate here, and you can see now it's on the axis that we selected. To show you another method and more options, let's go back one step and then do it another way. So let's go back to all polygons. Since our selection was the frontmost part of our object, what we can do is go to the y-axis, since we aligned that one, and go to +100 and also execute this. This now makes it sit flush with the front of our object's bounding box. We can also choose the rear by going to -100 and of course everything in between. By the way, you can find the same tools within the Move, Rotate or Scale tool here. This will become active within a element selection, so let's go to polygons again, select all of them, and for example then go to Y +100 here. So although the axis right now is on this side, we can scale from the complete other side if we wanted. A maybe quick tip dependent if you knew. Alright, let's set this back to 0, deselect everything and then go back into unsolo. Here we go. And now let me just select all the objects I want to center the axis for. By the way, another quick tip. If you select a lot of objects and they're really close by, it becomes hard to distinguish which ones you selected and which ones you haven't. There again are multiple ways to better this. One way is to go into Cinema 4D's preferences, go into the viewport display and then check wireframe. This will make the wireframe light up for every selected object. This way it's much easier to see which object has already been selected. If that now looks too much like selected edges to you, there's another trick. So let's deselect the wireframe out of the preferences. Then in the attribute window, go to View Settings or Shift V, enable the separate settings of the inactive object. Then we can set the shading to, for example, gros shading lines for the active object. Now it doesn't look like it's actively selected anymore. Alright, let me spare you the time that I need to select all the polygons that we need to center the axis and do a time lapse instead. And here we go, already finished. Dependent on the use case, I usually switch between the selected polygons and all points. This is with the axis being at 0. So for us now, let's do it like this, so it takes the whole object into consideration and press execute. And if we go into object mode now, you can see that all the objects have their centered axis. So now we can finally do stuff and, for example, animate this roll. So if we rotate it, you can see it's rotating quite perfectly. You might have noticed that it's wobbling ever so slightly, but we can mitigate even that. For that and more, let's go into a fast-paced feature compilation. As we've just seen, choosing n-gons as the basis for alignment can be prone to errors. Sometimes the better choice would be an edge, as every edge has 2 points to anchor it as well as the normal of the polygon it belongs to. To get this aligned, I want to choose the x-axis instead, and also instead of normals, I want to choose selected edge, then execute again. Now if I rotate, then there should be no more wobbling as you can see. Very nice. In some situations, you have asymmetric objects just like this, where you want the alignment as well as the center of the axis around the hole here. If we look at the polygons, you can see it's hard to do this in one go because there's no consistent rings around the hole, so we have to do that twice. One, let's just center the axis. It's always best to center the axis first. And second, let's just loop select the upper ring around the hole. Here the quad polygons of MOI come in handy. Then go to the center command, center to polygons, go to the y-axis, set it to +100 and execute, and now our axis should be in place. To prove this point here, let's grab a cylinder and put it into the object, then zero it out, and now you can see that the cylinder is moving perfectly in sync with our hole. And another take with this object, so if we want to leave the axis at the bottom side to align it with this side, but still want to have the cylinder aligned to the hole, the best way forward is with a null object. Now we can make use of our already selected polygons, and here comes the trick, set our workplane to it. And everything that is created as before will be appearing at the center of the workplane, including a null object. So now if we set the cylinder to the null it out, we can move it just like before. And last but not least, let's set the workplane back to the y-axis. If precision is a second thought and you just want to real quick align the axis, then you can enable the axis modification tool. That lets you move the axis without moving the object and position it manually with this coordinate system here. Don't use this one there, this will always move the object. If you are in object mode and in axis modification mode, what a lot of people seem to not know is that you can select elements just as edges or polygons and therefore orient your axis around that. So if you want to align the axis to the back of your object real quick, just click there and we are done. And a couple of quick tips on top of that, if you're afraid you're not being able to remember those values and therefore make the object never go back into its original position, what you can do is flap out the freeze transformation and hit freeze transformation. And therefore the value of the object is a 0 value now. So whatever you do, whenever you want to get back to the original position, just null everything out. I'm sure there are many more techniques. If you want to share yours with me, then do it in the comments down below. I'm very curious. While not supported directly, you can even get the access to other objects if you turn on snapping. For example, you can move it to the cylinder up here. If you want to get it into the right orientation, we need to do this first and then snap it on top of here. And here we go. Now we have the object's axis to the orientation of the cylinder. Of course, all with a varying degree of accuracy. And this is the last one for now. Of course, there's many more options here. So we have a null object that is arbitrarily placed inside of the room, but we want it to be at the position of our null object for the object here. Fortunately, under Tools and then Axis, there are ways to get there. I consider those quick commands, and there's one command that fits here, and this is center parent 2. So if we hit that, you can see now the null object is at the same position and the other objects didn't move. Now I noticed that this effect does not work all the time, and only yesterday I found out why. So let's go one step back and get the null back to its original position here. Now if I go to Tools and then Axis Center and then disable the centering here, then go to Tools and make sure the object here is selected, then go to Center Parent 2, it is not moving. And this is because in the background the Center Parent 2 is making use of the Axis Center here, and if it's turned off it cannot provide the data to move the parent. So it needs to be turned on in order to work. Now, as we have done everything that's correct, let's go and center parent 2, and yes, it moved. So our null is now in the new position. After all of this, let's go finally back to our original object. I bet you almost forgot about it. What we have here is already centered objects, and I classified them in colored groups. So every one of those objects is basically centered. What we want to do is rotate those objects around as instances with a cloner. For this, we need a null object for every color group. So let's do this and put a null object in between every color like this. Then just group those objects in there. So let's select them. Let's select every one of those null objects, and while holding down Alt, let's also create a cloner. This will create a cloner for every one of those null objects. Those are in the wrong mode, so what we need to do is go to Radial and then set it to XY. Let's dial in the right values. Since all of the cloners have a null object at the 0 axis, let's go with a radius of 0 here. And then for most of them, the count needs to be 6. All but the wheels one, or the rolls, this needs to be 12, like this. And as you can see, now everything is fitting just nicely. And last but not least, rename our cloners. Select all of them and then set all of them to produce render instances. As you can see, I already applied materials, so what we can do now is go to View, Fold All, and then go into Render View, and then hit Render and marvel at our result. And here we go, a Mecanum real set with a nice axis-aligned data set from our CAD files. By the way, if you like those detailed materials that have scuffed edges and some dirt on it, then you can get access to that via my Patreon. The link is down in the description below. And this is it. And I hope, even as a Cinema 4D veteran, you found something that you didn't know before. If you did or didn't, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching all the way. And speaking of thanking, let's thank the Patreons that made this video possible. Especially my €50 tier subscribers, Leon Studio TV. Also, of course, a huge thank you for my €15 tier subscribers, Chihuahua Chang, 4D Thieves, Alessio De Vecchi, Chris Fritchie, 5-in-1 Designs, Ami Sheetreed, Christian Grajewski, Daryl, Graham Bucknell, Grigoris Morikis, Ivan Tanasiewicz, Joel Heuwekemeijer, McDuffie Render, Ness Graphics, Part 1 of 2, Ralph, Random Capybara, Raiko, Zoo Shag, Terry Wayne Ranson, Heuwekemeijer, Jan Verbeeke, and Yassin Rupp. Hello and a happy after-show party to the ones that found the way to it. To be honest, before this tutorial I was really struggling to get the motivation to do it, but as I did it, it went through quite nicely. So there are those days too where I don't have to struggle and grind my teeth. Now what needs to be seen is if you actually like it. At least I hope you're fine with the one or other occasional Cinema 4D themed tutorial every now and then. As I said in the beginning, I'm still rather busy these days. I'm still thinking about the drone and volume shading tutorial, I promise. I think that's all for today. If you want to help me fight against the algorithm overlords, let's post a CAD in the comments down below. As always, thank you so much for watching, even more so if watching this little bonus section. And as always, I wish you a good start into the week, and if you're watching this later, a fantastic time ahead. And I say,
they see me rolling, they hating.
Bye.